Okay, eating and exercise, that's what this video is about. All right, so eating, I mentioned a ketogenic diet, and I'll just give you a quick, simple definition of that. Okay, there's two types of fuels that your body has. There's glucose or sugar, and there's stored fat. And we only have about 1,700 calories of stored sugar in our bodies. And so, if you're exercising, you can kind of use that up fairly quickly, usually in about 24 hours if you're not into heavy exercise. Then there's stored fat. And ketosis, or having a ketogenic diet, is a way for your body to use up the stored sugar and start using the stored fat. And it's good to do that because you don't want your body to continue to run on that sugar, because you're constantly stimulating your pancreas to make that insulin. Again, if you're insulin resistant, you want to give your body a rest. You don't want to do frequent meals. You want your body to bring the insulin levels down so that your cells don't feel like they have to keep resisting the insulin. So eating frequent meals for me was not a good idea. So I didn't want to eat frequent meals because frequent meals would not give my body, my pancreas, a break from producing insulin, and my cells having to feel like they need to resist the insulin. So I figured for me that was not a good solution. And so I decided to try this ketogenic diet, which means really cutting down or cutting out all the highly refined carbs, the breads and muffins, waffles, things like that, bagels. But the carbs that you could have are the veggie carbs, more specifically the cruciferous vegetables, the Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, broccoli, kale, spinach, spring mix, things like that help protect your body, give you plenty of vitamin B1 protective of your cells, and it also gives you good protection for your liver and your liver function. And so I wanted to do that. Another thing was, as far as a fuel source, your body fat is so much more of an efficient and better fuel source, because you pretty much get a 2-to-1 bang for your buck. When you're running on stored fat, you get 2 times more the energy than you do when you're running on sugar. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that makes sense to me. And so yes, I'll get my insulin down, I'll lose weight using my own fat, and I'm getting more bang for my buck, and it's healthier for me. Let's try that. So that's what it means to put your body into ketosis. It's running on your own stored body fat. So some people start flipping out and saying, oh my God, you're starving. Oh my God, this is horrible. No, you don't do a ketogenic diet without eating at least 7 to 10 cups of cruciferous vegetables. That was the broccoli, the cauliflower, the kale, the spinach, the spring mix, the Brussels sprouts. Because if you're on a ketogenic diet, it is a bit higher in fat, the healthy fats, but it is higher in fat. And so that way the vegetables help protect the liver and help to process the fat out of the liver, so that way you don't get gout and you don't get a fatty liver. So there are some forms of keto out there that tell you not to eat any of the veggie carbs. I don't count that as carbs in my diet. So that's why, and I'll get in 7 to 10 cups by eating large salads, and usually also blending my vegetables and drinking it. That's how I get in these 7 to 10 cups daily. Okay, so that's keto. The second thing that goes hand in hand with that is intermittent fasting. So, and intermittent fasting is when you eat. So keto is what you eat. Intermittent fasting is when you eat. And so intermittent fasting is a way to get your body into ketosis, because again, you need to deplete the stored sugar that you usually run your body on, and start using your own body fat. And you really get into optimal fat burning when you've been fasting for about 18 hours. So some people flip out and say, oh my God, there's no way I could do that. And so you usually start this gradually. You eat 3 meals a day, no snacking in between. Again, you don't want to continue to stimulate insulin. Then you shorten that window. So say, for example, you have a 6-hour window that you're eating. You have an 8-hour window that you're eating the 3 meals. Then you want to go to 2 meals and you shorten that to a 6-hour window. Then you start to slowly shorten that to a 4-hour window so that you'll have 20 hours of fasting and 4 hours of eating 2 meals. And at first I was like, oh, I'll try this because I don't like taking these horse pills. I don't like it. But when you switch over and you stop eating those highly refined carbs, you stop craving them. And I wasn't hungry. And when you incorporate the healthier fats like the extra virgin olive oil, the coconut oil, the nuts, the seeds, things like that, even some small amounts of animal fat, like if you eat chicken with the skin on it, or if you're going to buy ground beef, buy the ground beef that's like 73% lean, things like that. If you incorporate a little more of the fat into it, or eat whole eggs, eggs is such a complete protein. What I've learned is the way that you leave the way God made things, the safer you are. That's what I've learned. And so if you start to shorten it to a 2 meal, 4-hour window, that's when you really start to have optimal fat burning. And you won't have cravings because the fat that you're eating will help you to last to the next meal. But for me, since I am premenopausal and I'm 50, and I've done so many diets over my lifetime that my metabolism was so slow, I actually a lot of days go down to 1 meal a day. And that's a really healthy, nutrition-packed day where I eat. That meal is nutrition-packed. That's when I get my 7 to 10 cups of veggies in. That's when I get my 3 to 6 ounces of protein in. And here's some of the supplements that I take. I've mentioned before the Nutritional yeast. It's non-GMO, it's non-fortified, which means it doesn't have any of the synthetic vitamin B in it. I also have trace minerals that I drop in my water. I also put in some apple cider vinegar and some lemon juice that I drink a day. My iron is still having an issue in it, even though I incorporated a lot of red meat, but I still take a synthetic iron pill. And every once in a while I will take a zinc pill, but I think that I'm eating enough vegetables that I'm at a pretty good pace on that. Okay, on to exercise. Now I had mentioned before about the 100 days to 50, and so I started to get more tone, but I still wasn't losing the weight until I started to do the ketogenic diet. But I had started back in December on Total Gym, and I had mentioned before, I kind of snickered and then said, Chuck Norris and Christy Brinkley, they're just trying to spark their careers. Total Gym is, it looks like a gimmick. But my sweetie, being the wonderful person that he is, said that he had such a wonderful experience with the Total Gym before. I said, you know what? I'm going to be open to it. I'm going to give it a try. And I could not believe the results just from using your own body weight. I'm like, oh my gosh. It is, even just the range of motion, the range of exercises that you can do. I was having some problems also with my shoulder, and that really helped in the strength of my shoulder. I don't have any pain in my shoulder anymore. It helps so much with my stomach, with my legs, especially my legs. I'm like, oh my gosh. But especially my arms. And let me just show you, not just for showing this for sake, but this is from the Total Gym, okay, at 50, all right? So it works, and it wasn't that expensive. There are different levels of it. If you get the Cadillac version of it, yeah, you can spend close to $1,000, but you don't want that. But this was a couple $100. That pretty much included the shipping. And you do it right in the privacy of your own home, and you can store it underneath your bed if you want to. So it's so convenient. And so I started using Total Gym probably about 4 times a week. And that really just helped. And moderate exercise, usually about 30 minutes, sometimes 45 minutes. But that was it. And then just making sure that I stretched well and, giving myself a day or two in between. And that's how I got here. That's how I did it. That's how I took off that last stubborn 10 pounds. I mean, it seemed like it was an act of Congress to get that weight off. I kept hitting that plateau and hitting that plateau. And it really was keto, intermittent fasting, and the total gym. That triple threat, really got that weight off of me. And now I'm at my goal weight, which is 155 pounds. And back when I was in my 20s, when I was at this weight, I felt I was so light on my feet. I was really running a lot at that time. I was running marathons, full marathons. I've run New York City Marathon twice. I've run the LA Marathon twice. I've run so many other races that are various various distances in between that for many years. I can't run those distances anymore. I may run a 10K here and there, but that's about it these days. But I still love running. But I feel, again, light on my feet. I feel healthy. I don't feel low in energy like I did before. I don't feel tired after I eat like I used to before. I don't feel like that brain fog or just that feeling lethargic. I don't feel those things anymore. Once I got away from that highly refined carbs and table sugar and honey, that was the key. And when I do eat now, I don't have that traveling numbness in my tongue, in my lip, around my eye, and other parts of my body. I don't feel that anymore. And so I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful. So if you want to learn more, or if you want to work with me, I can certainly coach you on keto intermittent fasting as a way to help you to improve your health if you feel like that might be a good solution for you. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.